Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Nerdcamp Sports. I am one host, Mike Williams. This is the other host, Raja Anthony Ali, and we will have R&B join us very shortly. But how you doing today, my brother?
Man, doing great. Happy Monday to everybody. Just can't complain. Just enjoying life.
Okay. Well, got quite a bit to talk about. In that the NFL playoffs are roughly what 5 weeks away or
Right.
what have you. And yes, I've a lot happened yesterday to kind of help shape that picture, but I want to start with our two-time defending champs. Once again, Lady Luck was on their side.
Man.
Lady Luck was on their side. What were your thoughts on this game?
I honestly I watched the whole entire game, and I honestly believe that it was rigged. It was rigged. Like I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll be the first one to admit that I love conspiracies. I'm always investigating conspiracies. And this is one I want to hang my hat on because there was a lot of calls that I'm just like, yo, I don't get it. Like, how are they getting away with this stuff? A lot of roughing the passer calls and offsides and illegal defense. It was just a lot of stuff that you question when you're watching the game. And it came down to a chip field goal shot that hit the side of the goal post, which even made me even more mad because I'm like, all right, if you're gonna win a game, win it by a touchdown. But it was a walk-off field goal. I mean, it is what it is. Patrick Mahomes, I feel like, is by far probably one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. But for some reason, this season, he just don't got it. He's just not who he was last season or 2 seasons before.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they're doing any and everything for him to win and for him to win in a fashion where it's like I said, it's a head scratcher. You're like, how did they win that game? Because I picked I picked the Chargers to win,
Right.
And it wasn't like I was doing it because I knew that Patrick Mahomes, like none of that. I said, look, they're the better team. Justin Herbert's been balling lately, and all they need to do is just make some stops for them to win. And it came down to that. It came down to everything I thought it would be up until the field goal, and then of course, they won the game. But shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They've been doing it for for well over how many games? 13 games? It's their 13th game?
Yeah.
13 lucky win games, lady luck games, whatever you want to call them. They've been doing it for those past few games, and they only lost one game this whole entire season. So shout out to them.
Well, here I'm gonna give you a couple things that where while you're not wrong with what you're saying at all, like theoretically, you're not. I'm just giving you a couple pointers that kind of on the other side of the coin.
Okay.
We got to give the Chargers their credit. Jim Harbaugh has made this team a defensive juggernaut.
Right.
We know that part of it is in due to Kansas City's inability to be effective this season. But they have proven that they don't need certain things to win. Tyreek Hill left. What did we all say? It's over. Can't do it. They were in a rebuild. They won. Last year, they weren't playing great football at all. They were losing a lot of games, and then they were losing a lot of games, and then it's like, they were third, not first. Could they go on the road and beat Baltimore? Could they go on the road and beat Buffalo? It happened. They beat both of those teams, and they went and they won again. Now we're in another predicament where it's like now they're not playing. Because here's the thing. 2 years ago, what was the big thing? Or the year that they lost in the AFC Championship to the Bengals. What was the problem? Everyone said them going for the big play too much.
Yeah.
Play. The
Mm-hmm.
not going for the sexy play. So
Yeah.
now you don't see Mahomes using that bazooka like that anymore. You don't.
No.
He's
No.
doing the smart offensive play to win
Mm-hmm.
the game. Now, granted, we're used to them blowing teams out of the water. But let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest, this team's gone through a lot of different stages, and I think they understood that all you need is high safeties, and that's going to stop working. Now, it's
Right.
not saying that he can't still go out there, launch the ball 60 yards, and it can work, but it ain't going to work all the time. So I give the Chargers credit in where they were able to do everything. But
Right.
let's give the Chiefs defense credit because just that those are the guys who are keeping them in these games.
Oh, absolutely.
So this team is no longer Patrick Mahomes. That their offense is also their defense. They
Mm-hmm.
have a good defense. They have. If he wins, this is a big arguable take. Very big arguable take. Andy Reid could solidify himself as the greatest coach of all time. He'll be one of the greatest. He's already
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
so he would have a real argument for that, even
Mm-hmm.
over Belichick or God, I can't think of any other ones right now. But he would have an argument because you're the first and the only to win three
Right.
straight. So, and it's not to say, those calls didn't happen, that shouldn't have happened, or did happen that should have, but I think they really played into it. They
Mm-hmm.
played very well. Um, they played well enough to win the game. And you're right. I felt like they should have had more control, but what I always say, division rival. Doesn't
Right.
matter. And the Chargers have played very great football this season.
Mm-hmm.
We did not pick them to be where they are at all. So I think though obviously the Chiefs have already won the division, 9 straight titles now.
Yep.
Um, but they still haven't clinched that 1 seed and they're due for an L. And this game,
Yeah, but
has,
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't lose a game this regular season.
well, yeah, but that dark cloud named Pittsburgh is coming over their head.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if they do get an L, that'll be the team. That'll be
Well,
the team to
that
hand them the
is
L.
now look at this because the Steelers are 10-3, the Bills are 10-3, the Chiefs are 12-1.
Yeah.
So it's really not. It's not. They got to win the next game to kind of lock that in because if you lose to Pittsburgh and then you lose another game, you got a problem.
Yeah, you gave Pittsburgh the tiebreaker.
But the other kicker is Pittsburgh and Buffalo would have a tiebreaker over you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, that too.
So yeah, so
Right.
now if Kansas City, and we've seen what they can do, but it's a lot better for them if this thing goes through Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you look at their, let's see, Kansas Chiefs, the remaining schedule. Okay, they got a winnable game next week. The Browns.
Okay.
Then they play the Texans, the Steelers, and then they play the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, outside of that Browns game, Texans are still in the mix, trying to win their division, get a wild, possibly a home game.
Right.
Obviously the Steelers, Tomlin's gonna have them ready as a potential one spot for a team that wasn't even picked to make the playoffs by no one, including us here.
Yeah.
And then division rival Broncos. So they can drop 2 of those games.
Yeah.
that Steelers game, and I'm worried about them last three because like I
Mhm.
said, the Texans are gonna come. They're gonna want to play. Because then and the Texans are in a strange position because they got a game against Baltimore on Christmas Day, another game that's gonna have heavy implications on the wild card race.
Right.
Because if like if we look at that. So and then you look at Buffalo's remaining schedule where they're at.
Mhm.
Bills schedule. They have a more they have a more favorable schedule. But but once again they got a big one on Sunday against Detroit.
Yeah.
And Detroit's also due for an L.
Right.
Overdue
Correct.
for an L. But then after that they played the Patriots twice and they played the Jets in between that.
You already
So
know what that is with the Jets.
Tom Brady 2.0 has arrived, minus the championships. Um, that's all he is, really, because
Yeah.
when Brady left, he came and he got on the rise, and now look at him. Pretty much, he
Yeah.
beats up on the division, wins the
Mhm.
division, goes to the playoffs, loses to Mahomes. It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Like that's
Exactly.
life. You win, you beat up a bad division, go to the playoffs, lose to Mahomes. That's all.
Right.
That's all we need you to do. Go to the playoffs, lose to Mahomes.
Yeah. And that's what's going to happen. And it's so funny because we already had this conversation before about how Buffalo was demanding that they play Kansas City in the snow up in Buffalo and still lost. I'm like, it just goes to show you that Patrick Mahomes just got their number.
Absolutely.
So it is what it is. But we gotta see what happens in the next couple weeks. I know that people are looking forward to seeing Kansas City fall. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they got enough firepower to get through the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl. To be honest, so
I don't care what no one says. They're winning. The league
yeah,
wants, there's too much money
yeah.
on
There's
the
a lot of
line
money on that.
for them to not win. There's just
Right.
too much promotion, too much publicity. This is the momentum that carries you through the off season because then the conversation changes because
Hmm.
now we go into next season with the real firm belief. Let's say they win. We go into next season with the real firm belief and the possibility that can they win it again?
A
Like
four-peat.
like 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 I said, I don't care what anyone says. We will never see anyone else carry 8 teams to the finals or be in a position to get 8 teams or go to 8 straight finals. If
Right.
Patrick Mahomes were to pull that off this year and then find a way to even just make it back there next season,
Hmm.
even if you don't win, listen, but if you were to win a fourth in a row, like then it's over. Like I say
Right.
it's over with 3 in a row. But if he were to somehow win a fourth one in a row,
Mhm.
it's over. Don't mention Brady, don't mention Montana, don't mention nobody. It's Mahomes and then everyone else.
Yeah.
Because then that would give him at that point, that would give him five.
Right.
Five. And he's like honestly not even in his prime. Like like he's just starting to get there. So
Yeah. He haven't even scratched. He haven't even scratched the scratch yet. Like
that
he still
shit's
got a lot of more work to do.
yeah, and he's already won scoring titles, won MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs,
Yep.
passing yard title. Like
Yeah.
guys
If
just
if his career ended right now, God forbid, not knock on wood, but if he decided to retire right now, he will already be in a conversation as one of the greatest.
he's a Hall of Famer right now.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer,
Right now.
hands down. No debating. I'm not saying he is the greatest. I'm saying in the conversation. And that's the thing. It's like you can't deny that. You can't sit back and just be like, well, Patrick Mahomes, he still got a lot more to prove. He don't got nothing to prove.
And
This is
that's
ice. This is just icing on the cake.
And I think, here's the other thing. And, this is a little bit of a reach, but it's just to make my point.
Okay.
I would call right now Patrick Mahomes the Michael Jordan of the NFL during his time in the stint that he's stopping the biggest players, the best quarterbacks from winning. Josh
Yes. One of
Allen,
them. One of them being Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow had his
Joe
shot.
Burrow,
Joe
kinda.
Burrow,
He did stop him. He did
did,
stop him.
but you
He
didn't.
literally stopped him from getting the championship, getting Super Bowl.
He didn't cash in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So he's stopping all of these great quarterbacks and players from getting there. I'm not saying I'm not trying to level him with Michael Jordan, but I'm saying in the midst of the control of the league and the sport right now,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
that's one thing that people utilize against LeBron when they're debating Jordan is that
Right.
you had other teams win. But they overlook the fact that the guy's played 22 years and has
Yeah.
played superstar level for his whole career.
Right.
You're not going to win every year, but if he had one every year, he'd be the greatest ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny because like even the conversations with Steph Curry, like they discount what he have done in the NBA because they're like, oh well, there was other teams that won and you had a super team and all this other stuff. But I'm like, when is the last time you actually saw a point guard lead a team to a championship 4 times? Not saying he was the best player on it, but he led the team. You know what I'm
Magic.
saying? Because well, yeah, but
No, I'm
still, like
asking a question like that. Like that's
yeah.
really the last time
Yeah, that
that
was the last time. It was Magic. It was Magic. Magic was the only. But then again, you got to think about it. Like Magic was a LeBron type guy. He was like 6'8", 6'9", point guard.
yeah.
You know, somebody like Steph Curry, he's like 6'2", 6'3". He's not a big guard, but he's not a physical guard either. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a finesser, and he led his team to championships. Now, not saying he was always the best person on the team, but he was the leader. He was the captain. You know what I'm saying? But they discounted, like I said, and that goes back to Patrick Mahomes. It's like Patrick Mahomes, he's got the same type of impact, but people can discount it because they can say, well, he had Tyreek Hill, he had, Travis Kelsey, he had, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll make excuses to not give him credit on him being great.
But
But this,
that's the team that was there when he got there.
right, exactly. And to be honest, if you think about it, this is probably the worst team he ever played with.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like,
right.
like outside of his first year as a starter, I think this is the worst team.
And even that first year as a starter, he still went to the AFC Championship. So
Exactly. And that team was valid. They had Tyreek Hill on that team.
yeah,
I believe, if my memory serves me correct.
I believe he was there.
Yeah, I believe he was there.
So I mean, we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, we got three. Was it 3 more games, right, or four?
4 weeks.
Four more weeks. We'll see what happens. And let's hope that they end up at least losing one, so they can at least taste a loss again and go into the playoffs ready to win.
Absolutely. So, there was a game that disturbed me yesterday a little bit.
Was it the Jets game?
Nah. I wasn't going there yet. Not yet. I was.
Okay.
I was Philadelphia really,
Oh,
really had a hard time
yeah.
um, with the Panthers,
Mm-hmm. They play
and
with their food.
they played down to them. And once again, they do for an L. And that dark cloud named the Steelers is who they play Sunday at 4:25.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're Philly or the coach or a Philly fan, are you at all concerned about that level of play against such an incompetent opponent at this
Um,
point in the
if I'm
season?
a if I'm a fan, I am concerned because of course you want your team to win. You want them to win outright. Like you want them to have big wins. But if I'm a part of the staff and if I'm a part of the coaching, tree, I'm not concerned. I think a win is a win, and there's certain things that of course, we got to get better at because the number one problem is the passing. The passing, like you heard AJ Brown say, the passing wasn't on point. And
Yeah.
I feel that's a fixable problem because if you get AJ Brown in rhythm and you give him enough targets and touches, he's going to find his way into the end zone. But the problem is they change their identity a little bit when it comes down to how they win games and how they play as far as on the offensive end. So now they're running the ball more than ever through Saquon Barkley, which I respect because now you have an opportunity to really open up the offense and really expand your two wide receivers, your two star wide receivers that can potentially get you 70, 80 yards a night in a game each, you know? But you have to utilize Saquon when you can because Saquon is that dude. Like, we can't sit here and deny it. This dude is putting up numbers we never seen before. But I just feel like it's a little bit overreacting if we're gonna sit here and be like, oh, they played terrible and they freaking won the game. What more do you want? I mean, yes, they played around and almost lost the game against Bryce Young and the Panthers, but listen, there was no turnover on Jalen Hurts' side. He had 108 yards, which is crazy. I didn't know it was that low. 108 yards. He was 14 for 21. He had 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Saquon, 20 carries, 124. I'm not upset with that
Mhm.
because I'm looking at it like this. When's the next time you're going to see a 100-yard or 110-yard game from Jalen Hurts? You probably never see that. You probably won't see that for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
But if you want to overreact, you're like, oh man, he threw less than 125 yards. I get it. But guess what? Would you rather have that or would you rather have Bryce Young throwing for 191 and have 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and potentially lose the game because of it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, like you said, as a fan, concerned. I'm just concerned still as an organization, like, yeah, you take the win. I ain't concerned about that. Because if you
Right.
lose the game, we're having another conversation, a different conversation. I'm concerned because you got to find better quality of play because you're not playing these teams. These
No.
are the teams that are dead giveaways. So, like, listen, even if they would have won this game 22 to, let's say, 6, I'm more comfortable with that win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now I'm a little looking at the defense a little suspect and that passing game as well. So
Right.
on the run game, Hurts can run, Barkley gonna run. They're going that's what's just gonna be. But even still, I'm a little concerned on the outside looking in because their next 2 games, they got Pittsburgh, then they got the Commanders, then they end with
Right.
Dallas and the Giants. Now, needless to say, Philly went on a little losing streak. They lose a couple games, you're falling out of that potential one spot, which is still in your grasp. And now not to mention Minnesota's still in the hunt for that one spot or that 2 spot, depending on how the tables turn for with Detroit, because God knows Detroit could drop 2, and then we're looked at that 2 really changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm feeling I'm a little concerned about how you won, be glad you survived the game, because the next 2 games, survival ain't gonna be enough against the Steelers and then against the Commanders.
Right.
You
Exactly.
you're gonna have to go out and win, especially against that Pittsburgh defense. You're gonna, Watt's gonna be coming after you. They're gonna be quite prepared for the tush push. You know,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think they're going to be more prepared. I think Philly, that is, going to be prepared for this next step of really tightening it up for the rest of the remainder of the four weeks. Like we can't really be mad at that. Like I think, and like I said before, I think we overreact a little bit as fans, because we look at it, we're like, oh my God, look how they won the game. Like they could have lost. You know what I'm saying? Type thing, versus it being like, all right, look, we did enough to win. We just got to figure out next week our game plan.
yeah, I don't think it's us in this sense overreacting as
Yeah.
fans or as media, but I just think you have to acknowledge that they should have beaten this particular team by more. I
Oh,
ain't saying to
absolutely.
blow them out, but like I'm looking at this hindsight
Yeah.
2020. Like if you would have won 24-10, 22-9, something like that, you should have had a comfortable lead. Because
Yeah.
let's be honest, the Carolina Panthers have been playing some complimentary ball the last couple games. Bryce Young is like, listen, this is my team, and I don't want to get benched again. He looks a lot more focused.
Mhm.
Still not like a number 1 overall pick, in my
No,
opinion.
not at
But
all.
but if he's the Panthers also know if he's not there next season, someone will take him.
Oh
He
yeah, he's
he
a
will.
he's a serviceable quarterback.
I believe he can be a solid starter. Like I
I think
believe.
you need to leave. I think you need to leave Carolina though.
I mean, it's not like he chose to go there, right? I mean, well, you do when
Yeah.
you declare for the draft. Like like you just kind of know.
Yeah,
But
especially him. He knew he was going number one.
but I think he's like, okay, like you got Brock Purdy, right? He's a starter, right?
Hmm.
Into a Super Bowl, got to give him his flowers. But I don't think he's a good quarterback. I've never
No.
been on the Brock Purdy train. So I believe Bryce Young has the potential to be better than him,
Mhm.
but doesn't have the potential to be an elite quarterback like your Lamars, your Josh Allens. I would even say Jaden McDaniels is. I would take him over Josh Allen. I mean, over
Mhm.
Bryce Young.
I
So
agree.
and I think that he just needs to stop running so damn much. Quick sidebar. But
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, Bryce Young, he's definitely deserves another opportunity. Definitely deserves more time. Um, yeah, definitely
And
deserves.
he definitely he deserved to get out of Carolina, because I feel like they handed him a bad deck. Like I don't like teams that kind of like crap on their stars. I don't like teams like that. Like, it's one thing if you're having internal problems and the media happen to hear about it, but it's another thing if like you tell the person or you tell the media like, yeah, he's sitting on a bench and there's no timetable when he's coming back. Like, you don't do that. That kills their confidence.
Yeah,
And I feel
absolutely.
like they could have handled it a little bit better. Like, they did the best they could, but they felt they had somebody with what's homie's name as the backup.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. They thought they had somebody, but then they realized, oh shoot, it's Andy Dalton. This is the reason why he's a backup quarterback. Like, it's not by accident. This dude is terrible. Like,
Yeah.
like, I haven't heard nothing since. Like, There's no competition of like, oh, who's gonna play next week? Like, nah, it's definitely not Andy Dalton playing next week.
Andy
You know
Dalton,
that.
terrible. Like he
He's
gave
horrible.
any good years he had, he gave those to Cincinnati. And
Yeah,
then
he gave his all to Cincinnati, which I respect because he kind of low key matched the uniform with his hair, the Red Rocket. But like it's almost like when you watch what's the name play, and he actually reminds me of a lot of them too. A lot. What's my man name? Cooper Rush. He reminds me of like a Cooper Rush dude. It's
yeah,
not because they got red hair. It's because of their game too. Like their game is very similar. But if you ask me, I feel like Bryce Young, he's the type of quarterback that just needs a coach and a team that believes in him, that got super low expectations. If he comes to the Jets, right? Now I know it's you, what you're gonna say, oh, because you're a Jets fan. No, listen to what I'm saying though.
okay.
If he comes to the Jets, and we know it's a rebuild process, like there's no, oh, we're going for the Super Bowl. I'm talking about we know in 3 to 5 years we're rebuilding. He would do great because there's no media coverage with the Jets like that, like unless they're talking about a big star coming.
Right. Like when Aaron Rodgers came,
Yeah.
they were talking about it.
Right. Like, or when Brett Favre was here, and you know what I'm saying, or we got a superstar wide receiver. When we have a low key team, we do really good. So I feel like if he had a coach or if he had an organization that believed in him like the Jets do, when they're in rebuild mode and not trying to win the Super Bowl, you can win some games and you can do really good. Like you can build your resume up. I'm not saying you can win a Super Bowl or get to it, but you can definitely make the playoffs and become a really, really solid playoff quarterback, like be mentioned in those conversations. That's what what's the name did? Mark Sanchez. Mark's, and I always bring him up because that was the last time we had a quarterback that was worth something. But Mark Sanchez was on that trajectory. He was good enough just to get him to the playoffs. And of course, you know, when you have that type of quarterback, you just got to find a ways of helping them win while they can, that little window. So I don't know. I feel bad for Bryce, man. I really do. I know he's a small quarterback, but I feel like if Kyler Murray can do it, he can do it.
Right. And that's my thing because Bryce Young can throw the ball as
Yeah.
well. Like he has ability to
He's
like
a Heisman winner, right?
yeah.
So I'm like, come on. I just feel he was handed a bad team. And then it was like, all right, go figure it out.
Well, I think the other thing is if he gets onto if he were to go to the Jets and be a part of their rebuild, you would at least have some pieces to work with there.
Yeah.
Versus now.
Yeah.
Like you brought him Deontay Johnson. Like his running back was hurt and just got injured again, tore the same ACL again.
Yes.
On top of Chubba Hubbard, however you say his name, he's been playing well this season.
Yeah.
He's
He
been
did great
balling.
yesterday. 26 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
And then you give him Adam Thielen. Like, what
Yeah.
is he really supposed to do with
That's what I'm saying.
Hubbard, injured Brooks, Thielen, and Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm saying. Like you're playing with makeshift players. You're playing with like UFL players, to be quite honest.
yeah.
So
I guess we'll see how that goes. Well, so yesterday, Miami continued their run to making a wild card spot in the playoffs. And then the same old fashioned eliminating the Jets from playoff contention. Go ahead.
let me just say this. First and foremost, when it comes down to the Jets, I give up. All right. I give up. This is the time that I become a Buffalo Bills fan.
You got a couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is the part of the season when I become a Buffalo Bills fan because I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore, bro. Like, how do you ruin a lead? How do you blow a lead in the fourth quarter? See, this is what I'm saying. I honestly believe that Aaron Rodgers is trolling. He's trolling the New York Jets because, first off, we already know the injury and what happened to him. Okay, great. But when he came back, he said, I'm ready to play. I'm 100%. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. He have done nothing but stink up the joint. Okay? I have a problem watching this man play because every time I see him drop back, I feel like he can't throw no more than 10 yards. Am I the only one that feel like that?
Maybe he's getting to the point where Drew Brees was. Like, like he just can't like launch it anymore. Like he just ain't got it.
It's crazy because now there's rumors, and this is something I just heard, that him and Devontae Adams are trying to go to the Giants. Now, if they turn up in the Giants, bro, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so angry because you had the opportunity to make the Jets great again. But yeah, you want to sit back and pretend that you don't care about football anymore. Like, I get it. He's 41. And you're right. Drew Brees was at this point in his career too. But Drew Brees wasn't Aaron Rodgers though, man. Like Drew Brees was always Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers was just throwing bombs like 2 seasons ago. I can't even see this. Like I said, I have yet to witness this guy throw any like he can't even throw 20 yards. And when he does, it's like an overthrow. It's like he throws to a point where they gotta like jump out of bounds and stuff like that. Like it's hard for me to watch this man play every Sunday. And I feel like the Jets are at the point where they're like, well, we don't have much, so let him go out there and just play. Stop. He should have played yesterday. He should have been on the bench. I don't care what nobody said. The season's over. Miami already won. I mean, the Bills already won a division. We're not going nowhere. We have no future. It's over. It's over. Let him retire in peace. Let him and Devontae Adams go on a honeymoon.
You said it just got worse and worse. You're just like, he's not. No, he should have been on the bench.
He should have been on the bench, bro.
It's over.
Like, it's over. It's over. Let this thing just die. Like, let it just be where it's at and just die. Because I can't. How do you score 26 points and still lose? And then people say, well, it was the defense. I heard a lot of Jets fans saying, oh, they kept saying the defense is the reason why they won. Is the reason why they won in overtime. I said, I don't give a damn if it was the defense. Aaron Rodgers is playing horrible. I don't care how many touchdowns, how many yards he threw. He threw for 339. Most yards, I think, this season. But if you watch him play, I'm talking about actual watch the game, not highlights. Watch the game. This dude is overthrowing every single wide receiver he throws to. Or he's underthrowing them.
Yeah.
He don't give a damn about football no more, bro. He want to go on an ayahuasca retreat, those dark retreats. He don't give a shit about football. Excuse my language. He don't give a damn about football.
Now, I did watch quite a bit of this game, and it was bad. It was bad. Like I'll put it this way. The game itself has some excitement, right? Like as a football fan, it was an exciting game to watch.
Yes, as a football fan. If you're a fan of the
fan of the Jets, this was a very bad game to watch. They played, their offense looked like it should have looked all season.
Yes.
Like if they could get in that 24, 26, 30-point range, like more often, they would have won a lot more games.
Yes.
But let's just be honest, for whatever reason, your defense has been compromised Like, I don't know what happened. Like, that's a part of the problem.
I know what happened. And
What?
I don't mean to cut your story short, but I know what happened, though. I got to answer that.
Yeah, go
They
ahead.
fired a coach.
Oh, they fired Salah, you're saying.
Yeah, they fired Salah. And that's the problem. You can't fire the coach in the middle of the season, especially if he's a defensive coach. Oh, my God.
So you do that. You fire Salah. Your defense goes to crap. And it's just like now the whole thing is in disarray, and there's no recovering. There's no recovering. And you're looking at a team like Miami who knows their identity when they have their quarterback. They know who they are. Like, we know what they're going to do. More than likely, they're going to sneak into the playoffs and they're going to get bounced because they're going to have to go to some cold weather place to play a game and lose.
They're going to have to leave Miami.
Yeah. Because the only way they would ever have a shot at a Super Bowl is the number 1 seed, and they just don't have the talent to get it. No. And if not, they can't pass your Mahomes, your Josh Allen's, just your Lamar's. Like, you're just not going to do it. So I think
the fact that they got a quarterback that hates cold weather is crazy to me.
Very out of pocket.
I would find the most mountain type dude like Josh Allen type guy I can find next draft, because this is getting ridiculous. He had a whole Pooh Shiesty mask on and it was only 60 degrees outside.
It's like, come on, bro.
Like 60 degrees is like summer weather here in New York.
And then now you look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I've been saying this all season. All season. He's fraudulent.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. You're right. He was right. You was right, Mike.
And like, I was hoping he would like prove me wrong. Like, I was hoping he would get better. I was hoping that he would compete for you guys, like, for real. But it just is like coming back from that injury, and now you're starting to see the decline. I don't know now what's next, but this ain't it. I already know he ain't gonna be in a Jets uniform next season.
Better not.
That much we do know. Now if they go to the Giants, that don't help because they got the same problems. No defense and a terrible offensive line.
Okay, which is true. But in not trying to be the advocate for it, but just in their defense, why I think it's more attractive is because they got Malik Neighbors. They got what's that guy's name? Tracy Robinson as a running back.
Oh, Tracy Tracy Jones or something? Tracy something.
Yeah, they got him, and they have fairly decent, pretty good special teams and stuff. Like, they're okay. They're not bad. They're like maybe one step ahead of the Jets on like potential future if they get a quarterback type situation. So if you bring Devontae Adams into that situation, they're going to be a team that can potentially make a wild card spot. Just in my opinion, I might be wrong, but I feel like it's possible if they get Malik Neighbors and Devontae Adams as offensive weapons they use.
Well, it's because now it opens up someone, right? So when you look at it, if you have Malik Neighbors and Devontae Adams, you're going to double one, right? And the other one's going to be open. I don't care if Devontae Adams has been in the league 10 years and is 32 years old. Like, that man can still ball.
Absolutely.
And Neighbors is proving he can ball without a quarterback. So, yeah. But now they gotta fix that offensive line for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess their defense was all right. I mean, like, you look at yesterday, they only allowed 14 points, but I think you're at a point where with the Giants, see, Giants fans, they're disappointed fans. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean when I say that. They hold on to those glory days of Eli Manning, bro.
Yeah, that's all they got.
I mean, like, listen, I hold on to our glory days. When I say these fools hold on, they hold on. They be like, yo, like they just hold on to it like white on rice. Like
Mhm.
they be like, yo, we got this.
And then they pretended like it wasn't an accident.
Yeah. So now those days are over. Like you're they're done. They're all done. Now now it's like, all right, we got to do something. We got to get better. We got to get back to that. And there's nothing that they can do to get back to that. It's over. It's done. It's a done deal. So once again, I don't think it fixes their issue in the interim. Can it make them better? Sure, a little bit, but it doesn't fix the problem.
No.
And and when it comes to and when it comes to the Jets, now it's like, where do you turn? You fired your coach, so you're gonna need a new coach.
Yep.
Okay. Now you're not gonna bring your quarterback back. Now you need a new quarterback. So
Mm-hmm.
now, essentially, like to your point, you're starting from scratch. You have to start all over again. You have
Mm-hmm.
to find a way. You have to find a way to be better. Because you know what? This is not it.
No, not at all.
And
And that's the thing. It's like Woody Johnson. He kind of like he kind of like panicked. He panicked in this situation because he already seen the writing on the wall that obviously Aaron Rodgers is turning into Aaron Rodgers, and he's fraudulent and he's just out here for a money grab. But then he started to wonder, like, okay, what do I need to do to turn his team around? And he fired the freaking coach, which is like, if you fire a coach, fire him after the season's over, because at least we can see who's out there and what we can do for the rest of the season or the rest of the next season going forward. Like, we got an off season to put stuff together. But if you're firing a coach during a regular season and you still got chances of making at least a run for a playoff or a run for a wild card spot, you just shot yourself in the foot. And that's exactly what we did. And what makes it so bad is that we went out, we grabbed Devontae Adams. We haven't had a wide receiver like that probably ever. Still in his prime, still able to make plays, have a pretty good chemistry with the quarterback, so on and so forth. But the problem is Aaron Rodgers is fraudulent and he sucks. So he's not giving the ball to Devontae Adams. The only time he did was this game. He got 9 receptions, 109 yards, and a touchdown. That was the first time we ever seen anything like this from Aaron Rodgers. This dude was stinking up the joint last week, the few weeks that Devontae Adams was with it. So I'm just pointing that out because the Jets have no future at all. At all. And it's sad because we might be going into the dark ages for the next 5 or 10 seasons because we're not getting higher in the draft because we already screwed that up. And now it's like we don't have nothing because Aaron's leaving. He's got to leave. He's got to go. He can't stay in New York.
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's like, where do you go, right? Like, how do you correct this? And Aaron Rodgers just is, and I had a bad feeling about his signing from the jump, and it wasn't really until the injury that it was like, damn, like
Mm-hmm.
it's bad, like you're horrible, bro.
Yeah. And then they try to blame the injury. Remember, it's like, oh, he's not He's just ass.
He's just done. So,
Okay, they brought back the '90s jersey for the Dallas Cowboys, the one I like, the one with the star on the shoulder.
oh, for the game, I don't have it on yet. About to start, probably like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, something like that.
So, all right. So yesterday also, man, the Seahawks in Arizona, they had quite the game.
Right.
Do you believe the Seahawks are the favorite to win the division now?
Yes. And rightfully so.
Yeah, you don't think Arizona has a shot to come back?
No. And the reason why is because they lost their chance last night. Arizona could have won this game and been right in the driver's seat of this whole situation. Now they have, I think, a 9% chance of even making the playoffs.
Mm.
So it's like, what are we doing? And the sad part about it is the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they were destined for at least a playoff run, like a making the playoffs. But I honestly don't believe that they are on the same page when it comes down to a lot. Their defense isn't really that good. Their offense is okay. Um, I feel like Kyler Murray still needs to mature a little bit. Um, and of course they got a rookie wide receiver that's the star. Like, just I don't know. I just feel like they're just behind schedule a lot. So, but
Well,
they had a chance. They had a chance last night. And they blew it.
well, I think that it comes down to so much more because not only that, looking at the records, right, of the other teams, you got the division leaders, of course, but even your wild card teams are 11-2, 9-4, and 8-5.
Right.
So now they're sitting down there 6-7 under Atlanta and the Rams, who had a game of the year candidate yesterday themselves. Um, you're looking at this and it's like, okay, well, what's next? Because now it's where do we turn, or how do we turn to go to get to the next part? Like, how
Right.
do we get back on track? Because they have, and the sad part is they have the talent on offense to win a lot more games.
They do.
They have a lot of talent on that offense, but the problem is that their defense is compromised, and on top of the defense being compromised, they're they're bleh, they just can't stay consistent.
No. And Kyler Murray giving up two freaking interception is crazy.
Well, that's because when he tries that, like, I don't know if you've ever paid attention, right? When he runs and he starts running and he starts doing like this to one side and he launches the ball and he throws it off one foot.
Yep. Off the what do you call that? They call it a certain term in football. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, if you're throwing off one foot, you're not gonna get, like, if you plant with 2 feet and then one foot comes in the air as you're throwing, you can still get that hump, right? But if you're throwing off one foot and one foot's in the air, you don't have 2 feet planted, that's another story. Because now you don't have the same velocity on the ball to get the ball to where the ball needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
you're gonna underthrow the ball, and then after you underthrow the ball, someone's gonna pick the ball.
Every time. He throws off a platform, it's called. And that's the thing. It's like most small quarterbacks do that.
Yeah,
Most small quarterbacks, they operate like that. Unless you have like elite arm strength. Like Drew Brees, he can throw like regular quarterbacks, even though he's a smaller quarterback. He can throw with both feet planted. But somebody like Kyler, who's 5'9",
yeah.
and he doesn't have that real arm strength like that, he's got to throw with an extra leg up in the air just to compensate for whatever strength is lacking. But with that being said, he also makes bonehead decisions. So I just feel like he needs to make more better decisions on who he throws to and how he throws to him. And it's like his body language, bro. Like when you watch him play, he just doesn't look like he's, like it's no passion. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm watching the game differently, but I remember watching him in college, and I remember how he was passionate in college. It just seems like he's uninterested in the NFL.
Well, I think part of it is you gotta remember he was either debating going to baseball or coming to football.
See?
So, so,
Yeah, I remember that.
so I don't even think his alignment was fully with one or the other because he was undecided on what he wanted to do.
Right.
Um, that's the first thing. The second thing is he's not a go getter.
No.
What I say what I mean when I say that is, you need a guy who's going to go out there and try and win the game. Kyler Murray is not that guy to go out there and say, okay, I'm gonna cancel out all the noise. It's just me and the field. And you
Yep.
look at your field as your soldiers and you just kind of point them out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of audible when you need to. He's not that type of player.
No.
He
Not
is
at
not
all.
that type of quarterback. He is not going to go out there and do that. There he is. He is not
What's
that
up?
type. What's going on?
What's good,
What's
man?
going
Started getting me worried,
on? My
man.
bad,
I've
my
been
bad.
trying to hold off on Detroit and Green Bay, man. Like, man,
Yeah,
you
I just got back. Just got back from getting them from practice. I ain't want to have to come in and then leave out and come back, so I just waited till you got done.
I
no.
hear you.
But he is not that type of player. He's not going to go out there and be your go-getter. So
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, well, where are we getting the offense from? Like, like there was even rumors in the beginning of the season where they were claiming Kyler Murray said it's not my job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. But
Right.
once you started giving him the ball, you were like, oh shit, he's good. Like, so
Oh, he said that? Is that confirmed?
there was room. It was a rumor I read. That's why I used the word rumors because I don't know if he actually said it or he didn't say it. I didn't hear it, but you know how it is, tabloids.
Yeah.
So when you look at that and everything, Kyler Murray's not a go getter. Like he's not going to be the guy that gets you there by saying, "Okay, I'm going to go out here and win this game for this team." It's like if we win, cool. If we don't win, I got the bag. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm looking at him.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just like I said, to me it just seemed like he had more passion when he was in college. And
Well,
He seems a bit deep-esque, if you ask me.
he seems what?
He seems a little bit diva-esque.
All
Seems
right.
like he got a little bit of diva to him.
oh yeah, no doubt. That too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said he need to mature. I said it earlier,
Yeah.
but I just don't like his attitude.
Yeah.
Like
You
I
can
don't
kind of sense that he kind of has like a somewhat of a shitty disposition there a little bit.
yeah. And this division, like I was telling Mike, earlier we was talking about it. I'm like, this division is a winnable division if you play up to your opponents. Like, think about it. Nobody had the Rams as being like second in the division. Everyone knew that it was either 49ers or the Seahawks in the NFC West.
I disagree with that. I think a lot more people expected it was going to be San Francisco one, and I think a lot of people had the Rams as the second favorite to be the number 2 or number 1 in that division by the end of the season until they got injury riddled the way they did in the beginning.
Okay.
What they did yesterday, a lot of people felt like that's how this offense was going to look all year.
Oh yeah, no doubt. With
Well,
the offense being healthy. Yeah, but I'm saying like
yeah.
as far as with the injuries, it was like chalk them up, But
Yeah, it became wide open for the Cardinals for sure.
yeah, and I'm like
And
somehow, some
Seattle.
way, Matt Stafford doing what he does every year, he turns up at the end of the seasons and he just find ways to win. And I'm like, the Cardinals could have at least showed some kind of competitiveness last night. I don't feel they played up to their standards. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the full game. I had to watch highlights because I don't have NFL red zone. But
hmm
just from what I watched, I feel like I said, the maturity level of Kyler Murray and his disposition and his way he plays and stuff like that is just like it just irks me. And I
Yeah.
know for a fact he played way different when he was in college. And
Yeah.
Mike just reminded me that he wanted to play baseball. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he got drafted number 1. He
That's
was the first
crazy.
overall pick.
So do you think he likes football? Like officially likes football, or do you think he just plays just to be playing?
I think you got to think about it. In my opinion, I think he does like foot. I think he loves football because you got to think about this. Who would turn down for one being the number 1 pick
Mm-hmm.
and turn down guaranteed baseball money? We just seen what old boy got paid by the Mets.
Oh yeah,
Kyler
crazy.
Murray
Yeah,
was a hell of a prospect in baseball, and he
yeah,
decided to go football, which is more of a putting your body on the line. You know what I'm saying? You're undersized already as a 5'10", barely 5'10" quarterback. So you're
right.
gonna take a lot of hits, and those hits are gonna be a lot more bruising on a smaller stature. You gotta love that thing in order to, decide to pass up on for sure money in baseball to go take, you know, money in the NFL and get your ass whooped every week. I would think you have to love it unless you just didn't have any other choice, which he did. So
Right, he did.
I think
Yeah.
it's just the diva. I think it's the diva there. He's just a diva.
Drives me crazy.
Hey, real quick, fellas, though, just real quick,
Mhm.
I just wanted to say, the hell with both of y'all because I've been
What?
watching. I wasn't in yet, but I've been watching. Damn it! How dare y'all sit up here and disrespect that bad man? Yes,
Man, listen.
the
No,
Achilles
hold
have
on. Let me say something. Hold on.
The Achilles that porous offensive line, that whole infestation of what they call football with the Jets, that piece of crap franchise.
I get it.
I
I get
don't
it.
even
And
have
you know
a
what? You're
word.
right. The Jets it's a dumpster fire. But look, you ain't gonna sit there and tell me that Aaron Rodgers playing up to his potential that he normally is. Like I get it. He had an injury. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
No.
like I just feel in my heart of hearts, this man is throwing the season away because you can't convince me he can't throw to over 20 yards.
It's
He can't get the ball past 10 yards, bro. It irks me.
I
Like I
mean, I,
watched
I watched the game yesterday, and I seen the man throw for 339 yards, a season high.
yeah,
Did I
listen,
expect this would be the first time I see him throw for that much this late in the season? No, but yet and still, you know what I'm saying? You're not accumulating 340 yards in the air without getting the ball down the field at some point.
he's getting the
They
ball to
weren't just
players,
dinking
and
and dunking it.
that's what it looks like. It looks like a dink and dunk kind of situation. And when he does throw for over 10 yards, he overthrows a lot of the receivers, or he underthrows a lot of receivers, and he look at them crazy. And it drives me mad because I'm like, I remember 2 seasons ago, and it might be the Achilles. It might. I'll give him a pass. But it just drives me crazy because I know 2 seasons ago this dude was an MVP candidate, or he won an MVP. Matter of fact.
Well,
so I'm like, where's that player at?
When
he's older.
You got there's a lot of factors, father time, he catches up to everybody.
His drop off is crazy.
The Achilles injury, and it's just it seems like they don't have a real system on the offense. Like it just
that's what I'm saying. It's
like there are factors for it, aside from my disdain for his fraudulent self. There is, when you can't get a system in place for a player, and of course, all the outside noise, it's going to affect you because it's like, there were talks he didn't like Salah, and then this and that and that, and then this and that. Then they got Adams, and he's more worried about the perception in front of Pat McAfee than the perception on the football field. So, Pat McAfee now is a $500 million business with his show. So he's good. He's chilling and he ain't playing football no more. Wow, that was a good pass. But when you look at it, all those factors contribute to Aaron Rodgers and why his play is so bad. Can he get that back? Who knows? But it's Father Time is catching up.
I don't want to hold the show up because I know I missed this subject, but I just want to ask y'all one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you put Kyle Shanahan as the head coach of the New York Jets right now, with everything being the same as it is, the Achilles, trading for Devontae Adams, so on and so forth, do you think they look this bad on offense?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Because that offensive line is terrible. That doesn't change the offensive line.
Again, it does not change the offensive line, but again, you have to have the right type of scheme. If you know that your offensive line is bad, what do great coaches do to cover up the weaknesses of their team? They scheme around it, which means there's going to be a lot more shorter throws, a lot quicker dropbacks, a lot 2 and 3 step dropbacks, getting the ball out quick, getting it out fast. I remember for a while, the Colts with Peyton Manning had a subpar offensive line. That's why they used to say Peyton was the king of getting the ball out 3 seconds or less. He was 3 seconds or less before D'Antoni with the Phoenix Suns and shit. Right. It was Peyton Manning, 3 seconds or less, because he had a porous offensive line. So they had to scheme around getting the ball out. Now, I know that was a young Peyton compared to an old Aaron, but you got an old quarterback, you got a bad offensive line, you got a subpar at best running game, but you have talent all around the outside skill positions at wide receiver and tight end. So you have to utilize that to the best of your ability. So I don't know. I ended by saying I think that if he's gonna be back with the Jets next year, they definitely need an offensive minded head coach, in my opinion. Or maybe Mike Vrabel. I would take Mike Vrabel with New York because I think he could change some stuff around with the Jets. And I think they need to definitely work on improving the offensive line, getting some better running backs in there. I like, not saying that Breece Hall is needs to go or anything like that, but they need a spell back to give him some rest and shit. He's not the same after that injury last year. That's just my opinion. He's looked decent, but he's not the same. So I think there are some things that you can do there to retool this shit to get it back on the level. But you got to understand that you're dealing with a 40-something-year-old quarterback that just had a bad Achilles the whole year last year. That's I just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. But now that
that's bad ownership.
Oh, the ownership is horrible.
That's bad ownership. To know that we got a 41-year-old quarterback coming off of Achilles, and we like, the offensive line should be. We expect him to still be here.
Yeah. So
I gave up on that after week 3.
So now that you're here, matter of fact, before we go to that, to the last three here, the main ones is wouldn't be a show if I wasn't renowned to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday.
Hmm.
You know, they lost to the Browns 2 weeks ago. Still kind of boils my blood that we lost that game. Can't even lie. Like, that loss was worse than losing to the Cowboys week 5. Like, that was rough. Like,
It was. I agree.
that was rough.
Snow game. I remember I said I felt like it was a fluke.
Yeah, you know, I don't like to really, make excuses, but they Tomlin made some bad calls going for it on 4th down in that first game when he shouldn't have. He did that 3 times, and that turned into 14 points during that game, off a turnover on downs. But we know it's Cleveland. They suck overall, like, call it what it is. But, me and Raj talked about this a little earlier. Steelers still have a possibility of getting that 1 seed with a game with Kansas City impending on Christmas Day. But what do you guys think the Steelers' chances are of going to the big show? Are they more of a
You want
dark
me to take
horse?
this one? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go
More
ahead.
of a dark horse, or are they more of a contender? Go ahead, R&B.
No, they're nowhere near a dark horse. If Justin Fields was still your quarterback, you'd be a dark horse, possibly. You're no longer a dark horse. Russ has unlocked that offense like I said he would. They are a contender. Their chances to get to the big show, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say I'd give them maybe about 85, maybe 90%,
That's
85,
high.
90, somewhere up in there. That's how good I think that this Pittsburgh team is. Look, if it wasn't for my full 100% confidence in these lucky ass, cheating ass Kansas City Chiefs, I would probably go higher than that. But because of the fact that I feel like nobody can just overcome these lucky cheating motherfuckers, and I love Patrick Mahomes. I love him. He my favorite quarterback. Like today, as the young guns, he's my favorite. But damn, I just hate to see him. It seems like they just be so lucky and they be
Every
cheating.
time.
Like
Every
the
time.
blatant calls that they be missing. I be like, it make it hard to look at him and be like, man, this my guy. Because I want to see him actually win it and not, what I'm saying, feel like it's being handed to them or whatever. But if Pittsburgh, if it's any team out there that maybe can overcome that, I would say it's probably Pittsburgh in the AFC because of that defense and because I feel like they have the offensive talent on the offensive side of the ball to be able to go put up points against Kansas City. So I'm gonna take it. 85 might be high, so I'm gonna take it down. I'm gonna say 80 to 85. I'm gonna go around 80 to 85% chance.
Okay. What do you think, Raj?
Once again, because of Kansas City being in the AFC, I think it's a little bit of a obstacle. And of course, you got teams like the Baltimore Ravens and stuff like that. But I would say they got a better chance than any team outside of the Chiefs. So I would say percentage wise, probably like 60%, 70%. And that's being, conservative because we never know. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how the playoffs shakes out. Like if they get them the first round, if they get Kansas City first round, then of course that could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But then again, they can beat them. Like they're the only team I think can beat Kansas City. If you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they will, but if I had to pick a team between the Baltimore Ravens or Bills and stuff like that, I'm picking the Steelers. But
Well,
I will say this. It all depends on how good Russell Wilson can be at the end of the season. because right now we're watching him play like some excellent football. But if he's not playing the same towards like the final two games, then that percentage can easily go down. But I do think they can beat any team in the AFC. They got a real strong chance.
Well, when you
I think
look
he got
at
some rest reserve too.
True.
well,
He definitely needs to. He definitely needs that.
well,
I was saying I think he got good rest with the stretch where with the hamstring and Justin Fields was playing. That played in the
Okay.
Pittsburgh
I see what
favor
you're saying.
because he
Yeah,
got a chance to,
that's true.
really, start the season late with fresh legs. So he's gonna have fresher legs, going into the playoffs. Unlike Kansas City, who's played deep into the season for the
Right.
past 5 years now, which is probably why their offense is looking like it's looking right now, struggling.
Very
The
true.
boys probably tired, so I feel like they could be had.
Yeah. They like Mike always said. He do for a loss.
yeah,
I
a lot of teams are doing.
just don't know when. I don't know when. I think they've been bailed out a lot this season. To be quite honest.
Well, here's the thing too that people kind of overlook, right? Do you know what Lamar Jackson's record is against the Chiefs, as in Patrick Mahomes?
The overall or playoffs and season or
Playoffs and
just
season,
all of it. I think it's like 1-5.
1-5.
Damn.
And do you know what Lamar Jackson's record against the Pittsburgh Steelers is?
No.
One
You
and
got me on that one.
1-4.
1-5. Okay.
yeah.
1-4.
That means when he plays against Pittsburgh or when he plays against Patrick Mahomes, he shrinks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, due to history, you eliminate the Ravens, right, for now. Till they prove they can win, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has proven like Bills fans be happier than pigs in shit when they beat Josh Allen or when they beat Mahomes in the season. But how good is that if you don't beat him when it matters? When it's all on the line, you can't win. So I say that to say that the Steelers probably are the only team that have that opportunity, at least right now. But the way that, as we all alluded to, the game's called, and you weren't on earlier, we talked about the Chiefs for a good portion of the beginning of the show. There's too much money in the Chiefs losing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but I'll just revisit it quickly. Like, okay, we're talking about a three-peat, right? Now, that's merchandise, that's media, that's coverage. Like, that'll take the NFL through the whole off season. People are going to want to talk about it. And then once the season comes around, what's the talk going to be? Can he do it again?
Can they do it again?
Can they do it again? Now you got that whole thing to ride through the whole season. Once again, media, money, people watching. Like the Chiefs will become the Floyd Mayweather of NFL. They watching because they want them. People want them to lose at this point. Like that's what it gets to. So for me, like if you saying 1-on-1, right? You talking about no help, so to speak, or no lady luck. I agree. But based on your point too, and the point me and Raj made earlier, I can't bet against the Chiefs under any circumstances. I'd be a fool because if you bet against them, they're gonna make you look stupid. And until someone beats them and keeps them out, like listen, if someone can keep them even out of the invitational, like we renamed it the Patrick Mahomes Invitational. Like it's every year it's the Chiefs and who? Who are gonna be? The Chiefs and who? Like that's where we're at.
But it kind of goes back to what you just said a second ago. That Christmas Day game will prove to be very pivotal. That's going to be a pivotal game.
Well,
because if Kansas City falls out of that number one spot, and let's say For one, do they even? Yeah, I would say that they probably had the division pretty much locked up, especially with that
They
win
won it
Sunday.
yesterday. The division they won it.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
okay. So they did secure it up. All right. So with that being said, if they mess around and fall out that number one spot as far as the conference, and they have to maybe play like one road game. Let's say if they have to go to Buffalo, he's proven he can win in Buffalo in the playoffs already. But I'm gonna tell you something about Buffalo. This is the first year that Josh Allen has looked the way he has looked, and we all are saying no turnovers. Get it? He's looked this good before. Maybe not to this level, but he's looked this good before. But what's always been the theme with Josh Allen? He's gonna turn the damn ball over.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to do too much and he turned the ball over. He has not done that thus far this season. He might be the number one candidate. Yes, very efficient. Even though they lost yesterday, that was one of the most amazing losses I've ever seen. Just like the game against Kansas in the playoffs this year, that was one of the most amazing losses I've ever seen. So my point is, if this is the Josh Allen that you're going to get in the playoffs, that can rush for three and throw for three and minimize turnovers from trying to do too much, the Chiefs don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. I'm trying to tell you now. They don't want to see that. That could definitely be something that could route their hopes and dreams of getting back to the home invitational or whatever you want to call it, and to the Super Bowl. So I feel more confident about Pittsburgh, but I'm not gonna sleep on Buffalo either.
Well, since we're talking about Buffalo, yesterday, it's needless to say the Rams and the Bills is a game of the year candidate. Like, let's call it what it is. That was
It was
action packed, a lot of offense. Josh Allen out here, making what did he do last week? He made some history last week too. I can't remember what it was. He did something because they talked about it. Like a rushing touchdown.
He caught his own pass. No, he threw a pass and caught when he hit who was that? Amari Cooper. And then Amari Cooper was like struggling about to go down and he shoveled past it back to him and then he scored. So he completed a pass and scored on the same play.
Yeah.
And I think he rushed, and that was like the first time that ever happened.
Yeah. He had like 5 touchdowns, I think.
And then yesterday he threw for 3 and ran for 3.
Yep. Total of 6.
It still lost.
Because it's one of them games that you just gotta just tip your hat. Yeah. You gotta be like, they got it.
Yeah. I was surprised
I could have sworn they was gonna win it.
Shit, I thought the Rams had it sealed up. I literally had turned from it. When the Rams got to, I think it was like the Rams had like 38. I was like, this shit over with. And then next thing I know, I'm playing the game with my boy, and he's like, oh, man, Josh Allen is amazing. And I'm like, you mean to tell me they done came back? He like, yeah, they done came back. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is crazy. And then, of course, they still ended up losing, but just the fact that they even made it a game, because I think when the Rams scored 38, it was like 38 to like 22 or something like that.
Yeah, it was rough. It was real rough. Like that's a rough loss for them. Like because now you're now 2 games behind Kansas City. That's the first thing. Right? You were 1 game behind, and if you get the same record, you got the tiebreaker. Now you're 2 games behind, and you put forth all this effort, and to lose a game like that, you were just simply outplayed. Like you said, they haven't been making the turnovers or really the mistakes or getting the penalties. They've been very disciplined this season, and it's just like, man, like that was a game to watch. And you like you said, you like, damn, this is over. the Rams got this, and then Buffalo was like, nah, homies. Nah, we got a shot at this. But the other point is to R&B's point earlier, is that Rams team that we seen yesterday, that was the Rams team we expected all season. Because I remember in the beginning of this season, there was a lot of people talking about them having Kupp and Nakua and being able, and Kyron Williams with Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, and be able to be the dark horse in that NFC.
Yeah.
Because, they
And
should,
the defense is pretty good.
Right. They should have, in my opinion, they should have 10 or 11 wins based on that. But Cooper Kupp went down. Puka Nakua went down. And, you just can't compensate for injuries all the time. These are the two guys you essentially built the offense around for this season. So, they kind of went another direction with that for the day. So I guess we'll see what happens with the Rams in Buffalo. But R&B, I'm gonna just open up the floor for you because I was waiting for you before we talked about this. Detroit and Green Bay. They went to war. My God. Did they go to war this past week?
Yeah, they did. That's a good game.
What were your thoughts on the game? And can anyone beat Detroit?
Yeah, we can be had. I'm actually a little nervous that we only got that one loss right now. This is gonna sound weird, but I need them to drop another game before the playoffs. I don't want to go into the playoffs on this whole little undefeated run and have that on us. And because we all know 9 times out of 10 what normally happens to teams who either go undefeated throughout the season, or maybe only have one loss, or they might go 12-13-0 before they lose, and then they lose, and then they don't bounce back. So I feel like we need to really not saying you just go out there and purposely lose, but I'm just saying in the football guys, go ahead and get our loss out the way before the season is over with. Get that second loss out the way so that we can try to go into this playoffs and dominate and do what we do. I do feel like we can be beat, but I only see one or two teams. Philly scares me, even though they seem like they might have some dissension in the locker room right now. With the whole little shit with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts or whatever. He saying that they need to improve the passing game, and everybody gonna take that how they want to take it and do with it what they may. What I'm saying, which is it's idiotic for him to even make a statement like that, because he should have known what could follow behind it. And
he's one of them Brown boys. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
The last name Brown means always.
But you know what? AJ Brown ain't never been like that though. AJ, this is the first time I've really seen him.
Cool.
He's normally calm, cool, and collected.
Still got that Antonio blood, that Hollywood Brown blood. Don't matter if you AJ Brown, Antonio Brown, Chris Brown, Orlando Brown,
Bobby Brown.
Bobby.
You gave me that but no, like Philly, that Matt Stafford and that Rams, and then Green Bay. Those are the only teams that I feel like could be any threat to us. But I do feel like we are the kings of the NFC right now. And as far as the game against Green Bay, man, look, that was a good game this past Thursday. It was a real good game, man. And I know a lot of people were giving Dan Campbell flack for the 4th and 1 at the end of the game. They felt like he should have went on and made the kick. Look, we only got one loss on the season. We playing with house money right now. I don't have a problem with a coach that says, "Hey, I'm going to take this victory instead of you giving it to me." Because Jordan Love had been doing Jordan Love shit. He had been torching our defense a little bit. Our defense was satisfactory in that game, but Jordan Love was still having his way, and I felt why he didn't want to kick the field goal and give him time to possibly go down and get a potential game-winning touchdown or a game-time field goal. I'm gonna go for it on this fourth and 1, and which we got 7 yards off of, and we gonna run this clock out, and we gonna kick that field goal, and we gonna send their ass back to cold ass Green Bay, Wisconsin, packing. Look, this is the thing. People can give as much flack as they want to about that shit, but if you look at the trend of the league since Dan Campbell has been the head coach of the Lions, especially from last year to this year, or last season to this season, you're looking and you're seeing a lot more of these head coaches going for these 4th and 1s, 4th and inches, and
Oh
fourth
yeah.
and twos, and 4th and shorts. You're seeing because it's a copycat league. It's monkey see, monkey do, and they're seeing the success that he's having off of it. And Sean McVay went for a 4th down yesterday. I think they went for like a 4th and 7 or some shit, or 4th and 5, and they completed. Again, hats off to Dan Campbell, man. He got the Randy nuts. He got the Randy South Park nuts. When he went to get cancer and his nuts on purpose and shit. That's Dan Campbell, man. He got the nuts, man. He went for it and they picked it up. And I'm gonna end it with this one too. This is the NFL, man. These people make millions and some thousands of dollars to play a game that we all, played and had fun as kids and stuff like that, so on and so forth. They're professional athletes. In my opinion, my most humble opinion, if you can't pick up a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and inches or a 4th and inches, what the fuck are you playing for anyway?
I agree.
Because it's football. That it's mano y mano. So I don't have a problem with it. I like the way that they're coaching, and it seemed like it's a lot of chemistry on his staff. Him, Glenn Johnson. Look, we the kings of the NFC right now, baby. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
So, before I let Raj go, here's what I feel is going to happen. This is just an opinion. I could be wrong, but the NFL I swear they be knowing what they're doing. So, Minnesota is on your coattails. They right there. Y'all play the Bills this week. Play the Bears after that. Play the 49ers after that. Now, we know week 18, they don't schedule games. But the NFC North is going to be on the line week 18, 8-20 against the Vikings. That's what's going to happen.
We own the tiebreaker.
Right now. But, like, if your records are the same by then, like, let's say you drop this game to the Bills and you both end up getting there with 2 losses. Whoever wins is going to be the champion. You know what I'm saying? And whoever loses is going to be in 5th place.
Minnesota already has 2 losses, so if they drop another one in between here and now, they'll have 3, which I believe they probably will drop another one. But you're not far off with that analogy. But I give you this: we already beat them at our house. At their house. They got to come to Detroit. They got to come to Detroit. You want to talk, and I've been a big supporter of Sam Darnold. But Raj, you want to talk about Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold? You tune into that game and let the division be on the line, and we're going to see Sam Darnold. We're going to see your version of Sam Darnold.
Well,
because when they roll up in the D,
bound to come out.
When they roll up in the D, baby,
that's what I'm saying.
I'll take Sam Darnold over Aaron Rodgers this season, though.
Yeah, this season, yeah. And I hate to say it.
But
I bet you Aaron Rodgers say he would take the overall build and like everything camaraderie of the Vikings over the Jets this season too.
Absolutely, and I don't blame him because when Woody Johnson fired, when he fired Saleh in the middle of the season, I was like, I don't know what the hell we doing. I keep it. I've been a Jets apologist my whole life, but that was like, yeah,
So,
we're terrible.
so who's worse? You know I got to do it.
Who's worse for
Aaron
what?
Rodgers or Ben Simmons?
Oh man,
Oh man, come on, you did. I don't know why you felt like you had to do that. That's disrespectful.
come
That's
on,
disrespectful to
he's
Aaron
not
Rodgers.
that bad. Aaron Rodgers not that bad. At least he shows up the game to play.
And he's playing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come
He's
on, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is thinking this is a fashion show. Like, he don't give a damn about basketball.
So
He's trying
remember,
to get 5 assists a game to show that he showed up and he's
just
doing
remember,
something.
you show me a 6'10" nigga who done forgot how to get layups.
Right?
just remember.
Some of the layups I've seen Ben Simmons miss in games this season, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, bro, I could have put that in under the rim after, and I'm 5'8".
That's what I'm
Nobody there,
saying.
you misses it. You missing off. You know how a person go in the backyard and be like, I'm gonna just put it off the square and
Yep.
practice my off the squares.
Simple
He
stuff.
missing those.
Missing him. Wide open. Nobody guarding him. He's just
Well,
horrible at
Then
basketball.
tried to tip it back in there and missed the tip. Come on, don't do Aaron like that, bro.
like
Yeah,
Killer,
Don't do Aaron
I
like that.
I'll never put Aaron in that conversation.
like Killer,
Ben Simmons is generationally dumb. I mean, generationally horrible.
like Killer.
He's horrible, bro. We never seen an athlete this bad ever. At least not on purpose.
Like Cameron said, I'm Ben Simmons. I don't play games.
That's it. That's a fact. And you don't make no shots.
Yeah.
And you don't shoot no shots. So you good. You safe.
Man.
But as far as Detroit goes, listen, I already told you guys I have them as the NFC favorites. And I feel what R&B saying. I think they just need that one loss to kind of experience that loss in the regular season. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know what game it's going to be, but I feel it's a safe move. Not intentionally. Not saying they're going to intentionally, tank the game. I'm saying they need to experience the adversity to figure things out. So when they get into the playoffs, they're battle tested, they're ready, and that one loss isn't going to affect them to the point where they can't get home field advantage. Because right now, so far, they got home field advantage sold up. So, and if they're playing all their games in Detroit, it's going to be hard to beat them. I'm telling you that right now. Even Philly, like Philly's a good team, but it's going to be hard for them to win.
Philly's undefeated in dome games this year, and I feel like it'll be hard for them to have to come to Detroit.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be as easy as people think. Like, analysts will probably say that Philly should sew it up because they don't lose in dome games or, artificial turf, whatever you want to call it. But I can tell you this, that energy in there is going to be crazy. That energy.
You ain't never trying to tell you. You think they call Seattle a 12th man?
That's what I'm saying. They're hungry for a Super Bowl. This is it. I feel it. I personally feel, and I'm not even a fan like that. I'm just, obviously I'm a Jets fan, but I feel they're trying to do all they can to help Dan Campbell and the rest of the team get to that Super Bowl. Like that to them, because remember when Dan Campbell came on, right? You remember the passion he had when he became coach? Like that stuff is admirable. Like people fight behind that. You know what I'm saying? They go to war behind guys like that. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good playoffs this season. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, I got some more topics, but I know this is a sports show, but there's something on my mind. I feel like Y'all already know who we got.
If you about to go there, keep it,
Yeah,
Edited.
be careful.
Keep your words edited. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful because I got snapped. I got sniped today.
So we know who controls the halftime show in the NFL.
Right.
We know who does it. So it is, so there are a few sets of fans in the world who irritate my soul. And I'm gonna go down that list first.
Go ahead, name him for me, Mike.
Dallas
I need to hear him.
fans,
Who's the fans?
Dallas Cowboy fans.
Okay.
Word.
Jesus, I just said Buffalo Bill fans are now in there. They annoy me.
Okay.
Yeah, they annoy me. Just out of spite of hatred, Ravens fans, they annoy me.
Ravens fans?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, Mike. You had a bad encounter with a Ravens fan?
Oh no, I have multiple friends that are Ravens fans, and they irritate my soul.
Oh, okay, all right.
Come for me, but then when I just say Lamar's 1-5 against Pittsburgh, they gangsta down a little bit,
Okay.
Donald Trump supporters.
The
Swifties. The Swifties. Aaron Rodgers apologists are on that list. Cody Rhodes fans are on that list.
Mike is on a heater right now. Go ahead. Keep going, Mike.
Beehive fans are on that list.
Hey, watch what you say about my lady.
And now a new list of fans have been added to that list, and that person is a gentleman who's in charge of the halftime show for the NFL, at least for now. And that's what you get for picking Kendrick Lamar, just putting that out there. But be that add them to the list too. Them Kendrick Lamar cocksuckers.
Oh yeah, they definitely they're going up on the list.
I forgot about them.
Let me just say one thing for you, Mike. I didn't pick Kendrick Lamar, okay? I'm just over the committee and the board. All right? I'm just over the committee, man.
So listen,
he didn't though. He didn't pick Kendrick Lamar. The city, a lot of people don't know this. The city picked Kendrick Lamar. So people that's upset with Lil Wayne, they should be upset with New Orleans because Hov doesn't pick the artist. He has a lot of say so in it, but at the end of the day, it's up to the city of who they want to put on the stage for the Super Bowl halftime show, and they pick Kendrick Lamar.
Hov still got to sign off on it, right?
Yeah,
don't matter.
But he's not the only one.
Is signing what they want.
He's not the only one, though.
But be that as it may, first I gotta say I'm glad this happened before the end.
What happened?
No, hold on. I'm glad this came out before the end of the year so that Uncle Murda has more.
Okay.
From Cat Williams to Monique to
he got a lot to rap about this year.
Listen, you all thought wrap up 2020. I felt like that should have been like 30 minutes. Diddy gonna need, like, how he did parts. You just give a whole part to Diddy.
He's gonna need a whole song.
Yeah, but my thing is this, like, listen, once these Diddy allegations happened, homie was quiet.
Right.
Homie was quiet.
He wasn't the only one. There was a lot of motherfuckers quiet.
A lot of them. The whole industry was quiet. They had to.
Like I look at it like this, like for Diddy, he gets what he deserves. You robbed artists all these years. I don't care what anyone says, you were implicated in the death of Biggie Smalls.
Allegedly.
Oh no.
No, we have to say that. Legal wise, we can't. I don't want to get hit with a lawsuit.
Yeah. Allegedly.
He knew.
It is rumored.
It's rumored that he did that.
Sit there and tell me all those times he was known for riding with Biggie, and on that one night you didn't ride with him. You knew. You definitely knew. Then your bodyguard dimed you out. You was getting calls the day of. There's no allegedly anymore. It's on record.
It's still allegedly
It's
because
still
he hasn't
allegedly,
been.
Mike. You can't
Yeah.
go out there. He didn't get arrested for it.
It's only on record that he's claiming it, but that at that point is he say she say.
Regardless,
Right. Exactly.
they're gonna get him. Even if they don't get him for that, they're gonna make sure this sticks for that. They're gonna tie it all in. But the point I'm making is, what are your thoughts on this situation? Like, because this is bad. Like, and people is really out here. Like, and like now, like I've learned over the years to stop looking at like these celebrities in limelight. Like, yo, you bleed like me. You black at night when the lights go out like me. Like, you got a heart, you got a soul, you got a family. Like, you just another person.
Do they really have a heart and soul?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they got a heart and soul, Mike.
I mean,
We hope they do.
Their heart pumps, right? Like, I mean, physically they have a heart. Physically, you have like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
reality wise, but if we want to go,
Reality-wise, they should have
and
one.
talk parables and metaphors, these motherfuckers is heartless and soulless.
Yeah.
But it's just like you got people out here like really trying to defend what happened.
Nah.
Like, this isn't okay.
Yeah, you do.
This isn't okay. Because what if it was your daughter?
You know why it is though, Mike? It's just what you just said a few seconds ago. Like this little lava lamp I got here. This is how people look at their celebrities, especially black people.
Yep.
Like they fucking deities or something. That black people don't want to hear you say nothing bad about they black celebrity. They'll defend a celebrity more than they'll defend their own family, their own children, their own mama. That's some shit like that.
And you know what? And you know what? To kind of piggyback off of that, and to answer your question, Mike, R&B and I talked about it earlier, and I'm glad he just said what he just said right now, because guess what? That's why black celebrities go through what they go through, because for some reason our culture is so fixated on living vicariously through other celebrities. We don't look at celebrities as being just public figures or just somebody that's on TV that entertain us. We look at them as being gods. And it's not right. If for some reason, I don't know if it's like in our genetics or whatever, but for some reason we view them as somebody that's beyond human. And in this situation, especially Jay-Z, or I don't know if I messed up. I shouldn't have said his name. But especially that guy that's doing the Super Bowl. The reason why this is so significant is because we already heard the stories. We already heard the rumors. We already heard a lot of stuff on him, but this is the first time he ever been pinned as something that is going to court. And the sad part about it is you're going to have people that's in the urban culture that's going to defend it anyway. Even if he gets locked up, they're going to say, well, he didn't really do it. They just want to see him fail. Because I heard people say it too. And it's only been 24 hours or 48 hours. People are already talking about, oh, they just want to see a black man fall. It's got nothing to do with that. It's all about what they do to get to where they're at. Like R&B and I was talking about it. And they have no soul when it comes down to these type of things. No type of morals. No type of like chill. They will do any and everything to get that celebrity status and to get the money and the fame. And it's not fair because a lot of people get hurt along the way, including people that are, in that demographic. I can't say the other word, but that's accusing them of, and that's sick. I don't care if it's a rumor or not. You shouldn't even have yourself in that situation.
Yeah, I mean it's bad because people like to look at like listen. I have no problem with people like, I don't want to use the word idolized, but it's kind of the word that fits. Like, it's okay to look up and to a celebrity. I got no issue with it, but like but to just really like idolize to the point where it's like they can do no wrong. Like for me, like I look at things like, try to look at things full circle. Like certain things just you just can't like oversee.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at, certain situations, it's just bad that people really refuse to just be like, no, that he did this possibly, right? Like, people said the same thing about Michael Jackson with children, you know. People said the same thing, or things were said about Kobe with his situation. God bless his soul. Ben Roethlisberger, these things, and I've come to a point where I don't put nothing past nobody no more.
Right.
You can't, if you even certain things just that happen shouldn't happen, and I just don't understand why, especially considering y'all, you remember when they did the best of both world tour years ago? And
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
do you guys remember why Hove left the tour?
No, Ramonis.
Hove
It
left
wasn't
the
it
tour.
some oh, go ahead.
Hove left the tour from what I read. For your sake, allegedly, after one of the shows, he went in the back. R. Kelly had a bunch of underage girls back there. And then Jay wasn't cool with it, so he left the tour. That's what they said. But I don't know. I don't know that to be true. But now,
The story I seen get publicized was do you remember that y'all remember that guy that Hove used to always have with him, bald headed, short brown guy with the mole? I can't think of his name, but they supposed to be like his right hand man, his best friend or something like that.
Tata.
Apparently that guy is that his name?
Yeah, Tata.
Okay, apparently Tata and Kells got into it.
okay.
And they said Tata pepper sprayed R. Kelly, and R. Kelly got mad. There was a big, thing between the two of them. They were big falling out, and then that was when Jay had basically said "fucking" and left the tour. Remember, they weren't even going to release the second because remember they did Best of Both Worlds too. It was two albums, and they weren't even going to release the second one, but they went on and released it anyway.
Well,
yeah, that's the story I heard too, R&B. I heard that same story, not just from the news, but also industry people that was there. But I wouldn't put it past R. Kelly. But
Yeah,
see,
I wouldn't.
Here's the funny thing about R. Kelly and Jay-Z and their relationship, right? We know both of them were actively pursuing Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
One before the other, but still, they both were actively pursuing her, and including Dame Dash too. And you also got to keep in mind that Jay-Z was basically with Beyonce at an early part of her life, allegedly, when he first met her. And that's not something where it's like we just gonna overlook and overgloss. Like we ain't gonna just like this dude ain't 50 something years old and she's still 40. You know what I'm saying? Like he's damn near 60, but it's like that. That's how Jay-Z and R. Kelly got down. But to me, I just find it fascinating that people are shocked that these allegations come up. Because once again, older men in the industry been doing this. It's not just them. It's not just he's one. Think about this, Mike, and I need you to really think about this real carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Kendrick Lamar cool with Drake?
Yeah,
Drake basically helped put him on.
Right, he went on tour. That was the first person he went on tour with, right? Him and Rocky. ASAP Rocky. He brought them on tour with him, right? Now think about this for a second. If you're friends with somebody and you discover this is how they get down and this is what they do, why would you keep that stuff a secret if you know that's against your moral morality compass? You see what I'm saying? Like if you witnessed it or you heard stuff and you have You have hard evidence to say, all right, this is the way this dude gets down. He's messing around with, X, Y, and Z. Why would you still be cool with him to a certain degree, to a point where you allow him to get away with this stuff? You basically co-sign it. You see what I'm saying?
Or you staying quiet because you might be against it morally, but let's not act like people don't do stuff that they are against morally. And you gonna stay quiet
Exactly.
about it because you doing it your damn self, even though you know it's wrong, you still doing it.
That's my point. That's my point. Because if the three of us walked into a room, right, and we witnessed something like that, I don't think we will be in that room ever again, and we won't chill with that person ever again. And in fact, we might I don't know. I'm not putting it on y'all. I'll put it on me. I'm gonna make sure the authorities know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's how strongly I feel about that.
And not to cut you off, but I had a discussion like this with one of my homeboys recently. And that's one of the things that a lot of people have to pay attention to when it comes to these high-ranking, powerful people. You also have to remember some of these people stay quiet because, you know what I'm saying, you might have had a lot of people around back during some of these allegations or whatever that kind of wanted to be like, man, we should call the cops. But somebody with them or something within them told them, hold on, how the fuck we gonna call the cops? They already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we call the cops, we gonna get fucked up because the cops already know. They on the payroll too. Matter of fact, Sergeant McKinney was getting him some head about one of these little, you know what I'm saying? So it's that's the type of world it is.
Yeah, man, that's a damn good point.
Some people, they just want to do it wrong. Like, the other thing I think personally is like, public perception is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if someone, like, let's say I got a person I know that does something that he shouldn't. Well, now it's you're in a weird spot because, like, if you go and you tell someone, they may like, yo, people might think you associate with it because you cool with that person. But then if you don't say nothing, but you knew, people gonna think you associated with it. So either way, you in a tough spot as an individual.
Yeah.
And some of these guys is just like, I don't think that's the way I should do this or I should do that. Like it's a hard spot to be in.
Yeah.
Like, it's a hard spot to be in. But like my friend, she's been like really on Jay-Z for years. Like, when I say like years, like she's like really been like harping. Like, I want to say like 6 years. And I'm just gonna find what I said earlier about it. Yeah. She wrote something about it. And I here were my exact words. People always want to give celebrities the benefit of the doubt, but won't give their own parents that same benefit of the doubt. Jay-Z has done a lot for music. There is no denying that. But we cannot overlook these allegations or take them lightly. All these guys think because they have money, they have power, they can do whatever they want. They bleed blood like you and I. If he did do what they're saying he did, he should be reprimanded. Because if you or I did the same things, we would be reprimanded. That's just my opinion. If you did the crime, do the time. However,
yes, sir.
Being he has money, so very easy to turn the other cheek. As for the fans, people that don't want to believe these things, people don't want to believe one of their unsung heroes could do something this despicable, raunchy, and just out nasty.
And we all know the creed that he lived by: do what thou wilt.
Exactly, and that's the thing. They don't operate under the same laws we operate under. That's what makes them who they are, and that's why they have the position they have. Because if they get arrested, they walk in, they walk right out. But if we get arrested, we stay at least a night. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta scrape up bail money. These people are in the position they're in because they have the power and influence. Like R&B just said, you can go to the police station and snitch or go talk to the police and tell them what they doing, and they're gonna laugh at you because they be like, shit, we already knew. We down with it.
Or they'll take a report, look you dead in your face seriously. They'll take a report, and then the minute you walk out, they calling them. Hey man, Raj just left out of here. I'm about to throw this report away. You better get rid of that boy before the end of the night. Not Raj come up dead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it works.
That's the game.
How many people came out and told stories about Puff and how he will have the NYPD on his side on every situation, no matter what he did. They would be like, yo, he did this, this, and this. And they'd be like, word, and the NYPD take the report, and next you know that person's car blow up, like Kid Cudi's. You know what I'm saying? Like it's allegedly, by the way. But it's those type of things that we got to look at and say they don't operate under the same laws. They don't operate under the same rules. So therefore, hey, we gotta play a different game than them. And as far as giving people the benefit of the doubt, the reason why our people look for these celebrities to be their heroes is because we have been so like treated badly historically. So when we do see somebody that looks like us with any type of success, we feel like, you know, like, wow, they made it and we can do it too. And it's kind of like it's like energetic, it's invigorating, it makes us feel good. But in reality, they don't have the same interests we do.
We always looking for something to attach ourselves to is the, dare I say, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, is the black people, because we know nothing of who we truly are, where we come from, or what the fuck is going on with us. So when you put a person out here with that type of brainwashed effect, they're always looking to grab onto something. So what do? They give us our heroes. I can't remember the great, not really great, but what they call him a great leader from back in the old and medieval times and stuff. When all of these Illuminati cults and stuff began to form, he said, "Give me control of music, and I can control the youth for generations." And he knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. And we seeing it play out. We've been seeing it play out. Yep.
And
they
also
know what it is.
And also J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover, one of the PSYOPs, FBI agents, CIA agents that put everything in order for a lot of people to be dismissed in our culture, like Fred Hampton. He said it. He said the next Black Messiah that is risen is going to be because of me. Like, I'm going to create the new Black Messiah. You guys won't have your own. And it's so funny because now, you know, when you look back at the history book, he was right. Everybody that came up,
they so powerful that they use us to take us.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't them that killed Malcolm. We killed Malcolm. We killed Malcolm. They might have dangled the cheese over the rats to do it, but we still bit.
Yep. He stopped the Black Messiahs, like, you know, your Malcolm X, your Martin Luther Kings, your Fred Hamptons, your everybody that stepped up and tried to be a leader in our culture. And it's because we're deprived of knowledge, of knowing who we are, self-awareness. So that's why a lot of people in Black culture look for people like that, like the Jay-Z's. Like, if you tell somebody something bad about, like, I remember I start speaking truth about Obama, right? Do you know I got in trouble and with my family? Like, they told me I couldn't come around them no more for like years.
What?
Like, I missed Thanksgiving, like I think 2 or 3 Thanksgivings because of that. No cap.
Jeez.
Because I did a like a live, or not a live, but I did, like, you know, like a podcast type thing back in the days about Obama, and I was telling them what was going on. It was like, oh no, I don't like that. I don't like how you speak about Obama. That's our president. I'm like, see, that's the problem. We look at these people as deities. We're not looking at them as being human and somebody that's like co-opted, somebody that was placed to be our leader.
Or just as a regular fucking human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people get mad at me when I say, and you know, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I've been saying fuck Martin Luther King way before Charles White said it. You know about Martin Luther King? He was a sucker coon too. And the
That's
reason
another
they killed him, they didn't kill him for trying to be a leader. They killed him because he finally figured out that he was being a sucker coon and decided to try to do the right thing. And they're like, oh, we can't have that. Get rid of him.
Yep. And I got in trouble for that as well. Matter of fact, my uncle just started talking to me because that's one of his frat brothers. Well, you know, he's in the same fraternity. He just started talking to me about a year ago because I said the same thing. I said Martin Luther King was a sellout. I know we went left with the conversation, Mike, but
this took us down a rabbit hole. Straight rabbit hole.
Good to have. You know, it's good to have. It was just like, you know. Well, the thing is, freedom of speech ain't free. It always costs you something.
Yeah.
Freedom isn't free.
Nope, it always costs you something. Like, yo, me and my mom had a heated discussion because I told her I didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris.
Wow.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, me
with
too.
the black women in my family too.
Oh man.
You know, she's like, well, does that mean? I said, that does not mean I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. But what you know, like, you know, but you can't sit up there and say you didn't vote, so you can't complain. Like, pretty much that's why. But you know, like, people start to look at you through this, what, like, because it's like, why? Because she's black, that, or you know, that I need to vote for her, or you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like that. I shouldn't have to vote for her just because she's black. I should have had to vote for her.
Quote unquote black.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I should have had to.
I could have sworn she was claiming West Indies or the Indian ethnicity, and then the minute it came time for her to run, all of a sudden my dad's Jamaican. Well, where did that come from?
Yeah, like
that's another thing too, Mike. They got us bamboozled and fooled because people got melanin. They like, oh, they're black.
You know,
even when they are black, some people are they don't have the same interests as us.
Exactly.
You know, so I get it. But that's another thing. We attach ourselves. Once again, we attach ourselves to these kind of conversations. We're like, that person is our hero, or that person, that woman is our you know, savior. We gotta stop doing that.
well, you know, I think people look, like you said, culturally, people look at it and like, they made it. I can make it. And you can. Anyone can if they put their mind to it, right? But that doesn't mean like you gotta, like, I don't want to say sell your soul, but that's kind of what comes to mind when like as I'm talking, you know, like there's just certain like and then like the artists like we should really like look up to, we don't. Like DMX, right? DMX was real. Like, dude did not care.
Yeah.
He did not give two fucks. And like I had a DJ on Honest Hour, DJ Miss Official. And we were talking, and I was like, I had bought that up because she DJ'd at an event that he was doing up at Poughkeepsie. And he was like, she went outside and she goes, all right, X, they're ready for you. He goes, they ain't ready for me. You know, he goes, I ain't ready for them. He goes, all right. He's like, I'm about to do this prayer. And she's like, all right, I'll let him know. She goes, no, you gonna stay out here and do this prayer too. And then she was like, bro, I thought it was gonna be like 10 minutes, 35 minutes. We still out there. Then he did prayer end, and then he went inside when he was ready. I'm like, damn, that's real. He was like, I ain't ready for them. I'm like, damn, like, who gonna tell DMX no? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I remember.
I hear you, Mike. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Or like, when he was on like the Breakfast Club, and dude was like, he goes, "What about Drake? You think Drake got bars?" I don't like anything about Drake. I don't like his face. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, yo. But that's just me. Like, like not me personally. That's just someone I would rather see in a limelight. God rest his soul, than some of the people we do that culturally look up to. What were we gonna say,
To
Army?
you like this. I was gonna say this. I hear you, and this gonna sound like some hating ass shit, but I promise you, it's not. It's more love. I'd rather see none of my people in these types of limelights. You know why? Because it separates them from the truth, and it
Yep.
separates them from who they truly are and what they really should be praying to and doing in life. And a lot of times it's easy for us to look. I'm a big pot guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big pot guy. And it's easy for us to attach to that. Oh, he was a revolutionary and all, you know what I'm saying? And had those feelings of, like he, out of all of them, he was probably one of the real ones. But then what we forget, how he get to where he went, where he got. You know what I'm saying? How did he get to where he got? Now that don't mean at some point he didn't say, pump the brakes, let's turn this shit around. And for that, I can respect somebody like him. I can respect somebody like a DMX or whatever. But you should never look up to any celebrity, to be honest. It's okay to like them, but never look up to them. It's okay to like them. Don't look up to them though, because it's just a wicked game, man. And that it's not just when it comes to music and movies and stuff. It covers all grounds. These sports athletes that we talk about, a lot of these higher upper echelon sports athletes, like yo old Goat James and all them. Hell, I'm a Kobe guy. Kobe and the Jordan. These cats, you know what I'm saying? They walk in wicked circles. You know what I'm saying? They be knowing what's up, and they stay silent on that shit because that's how they keep their bucks. I just dropped the bar.
That's facts. And to piggyback off of that too, I sometimes when I look at the culture of what we call quote unquote black culture or hip hop culture or whatever you want to call it, right? I always try to figure out like what makes us stay in this perpetual state of nothingness. Do you know the most richest ethnic group in America is not white people? It's actually East Indians.
East
Think about
Indians,
this.
yeah.
Think about this for a second. First off, they came to America, well, the United States, that is. The immigration back in like this, I want to say the early 1800s or mid 1800s, right? But they're financially have been blowing us out the water since then, and we've been here forever, right? Allegedly. This is what I'm saying. This is not something that's like I'm just pulling out the air. But what makes them different is that they don't have celebrity figures like we do. They don't have the athletes like we do. They don't have the actors and actresses and all this stuff, right? There's a documentary or like it was like a training video called How to Sell to a Negro, and it talks about this. Like you have to put stuff at this high level to make them feel like they got to go and achieve it. So when you see people like LeBron, when you see people like Jay-Z, you see people like Drake, you have to basically idolize. But what makes the East Indians different is they come up with a system on how to maintain and obtain wealth. And the number one way they do it is through education and going out there and getting a bag through becoming a surgeon, becoming a doctor, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they use a system that we overlook because we're thinking NBA. We're like, yo, cats out here making millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So we're looking way up here. We looking way up here. We're not looking at the basic little steps to get to there. Like a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon could get anywhere between 300,000 to about $1 million a year in salary. But as a people, we don't look at that as being impressive. We're like, oh, well, LeBron makes 40 million. I want to be like LeBron. But in reality, you have more chances of you being a plastic surgeon than becoming a 6'9", basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like we gotta change our way of thinking. We gotta stop idolizing these celebrities in front of us. And we gotta start focusing on faith, family, and finances. Like we gotta stop allowing people to guide our direction of where we going. Like, and I don't mean to be long-winded with it, but I gotta say this one thing. Andrew Schultz said something about Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if y'all seen it, but he was talking about if it was him and Andrew Schultz and Kendrick in a prison, what he'll do to him, right? Now, the first thing I did was get emotional. I got upset because I'm like, how dare he just say something like that? And he's basically saying this to Kendrick, right? But then I had to step back after I got emotional and did my video. I said, why am I taking that as a personal shot? I don't know Kendrick. Kendrick is not a family member of mine. But why am I taking it personal? I'll tell you why. Because I internalized whatever thing he said, I took on me. And it shouldn't be like that because that's his battle. That's not my battle. So I say that because we got to stop allowing these celebrities and these media to control us, basically. You know what I'm saying? We got to focus on our own stuff and what we got to do. That's all I got to say about that.
Say one thing about that though. You right. That is his battle and not your battle, but you're not wrong for having that feeling overtake you. Why is that? Because Kendrick is a pawn. He's your brother, and he's your brother that's being placed out here on the pedestal, but he not standing on the pedestal. He's hanging. He's hanging fruit. You know, and that's your brother, and as our brother, we should be offended to hear. Dare I say? I'm gonna say it, a white man sit up and say some shit like that about how he would fucking rape them.
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
That's what they did to us centuries ago anyway.
Yep.
Y'all ever heard of the term butt breaking? That's what the white man did to us and our ancestors and shit. Fucked us in the ass and shit back in the day in order to embarrass us and make us look lesser than to our women and so on and so forth. Make us look weak, break us mentally and shit. And you sit up and say some shit like that, you would make love to him regardless of how he feel about it, or no matter what he try to do or whatever. He'd just have to take it.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
wicked world, wicked country, bro.
Yeah, this world's a rough place, and I don't think I'll ever fully understand it. But some things aren't meant for us to understand. I know we got completely off sports, but I just figured we can have a real life conversation to, every once in a while. It's good to have one of them. But
Absolutely.
Is there anything else sports wise you gentlemen wanted to cover? Because we're at the 2 hour and 17-minute mark now.
We don't got to cover it, but I do just want to say one thing. Shout out to my Detroit Pistons. Cade dropped that triple-double in Madison Square Garden the other night, man. Huh? How y'all like that triple-double from Cade? Them young Pistons. We only got 10 wins on the season, but things are finally starting to look up for the Detroit Pistons. And I think it's all attributed to the success that the Lions have been having, and also that the Tigers came out of nowhere and had down the stretch of the baseball season. It's turning around here in the Motor City, baby.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Well, I want to thank everyone for the support. We'll be back next Monday. Yeah, we'll be back next Monday here with another episode of Nerdcamp Sports. I'll leave it to you gentlemen to close.
Yes, appreciate everybody listening in. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully everybody will, have a good week, rest of the week. And I'll see you guys on next show.
Peace.
Be careful, be blessed, stay happy.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.